So, hello, I'm Jasper I Talangan, PSCP4B. So, in this video, I will be explaining uh, the laboratory one for digital signal processing. So, in this laboratory activity, we are tasked to generate and visualize analog signals using Python. The goal of uh, this laboratory activity is to understand how signals like sine and cosine wave behave and how can they be represented digitally using codes. So let's start. So the objectives for this laboratory is number one is to understand how to generate and visualize analog signals using Python. Number two, apply NumPy for creating time domain samples of signals. Number three, use matplotlib to plot sine, cosine, and combined waveforms. Number four, analyze the characteristics of analog signals from their plots, amplitude, frequency, and phase. So let's go to our code. So let's go open our IDE. The IDE that I use to compile my code is Visual Studio Code. So first, as you can see in the first and second line of the code, uh, we first import the required libraries, the NumPy and the matplotlib. So after importing the libraries, we create a time vector using np.arrange from 0 to 1 with a step of 0.001. This means that we're sampling at the signal at 1 kilohertz or 1000 samples per second. Then we define two signals, the sine wave and the cosine wave, using uh, the mathematical equation for sine wave and cosine wave. So as you can see here, we uh, we define f1 equals to 5 and f2 equals to 10, and use it in the equation. So also this f1, this means that the frequency s for the sine wave is 5 hertz, and the and f2 is equals to 10. This means that the cosine wave is have the frequency of 10 hertz. So going down to the remaining code, we use plt that fig size to to set the figure size, while the pl dot subtitle to display my name and section. Okay, later with this when we run the code, we will we can see this later on when we run the code. So we create three subplots for the sine wave, cosine wave, and the combined signal. So that's all. So let's run this code. Uh, so this is the output of this program. As you can see in the uppermost at the top, let's see. It displays my name and my year and section, course and year, and and it and next is it displays the subplot for the sine wave, which is 5 hertz, 5 hertz, and for the 6 to 5 hertz wave, which in color cyan, and the second subplot shows the cosine wave, which has the 10 hertz frequency, 10 hertz frequency, and which it and it is in orange. Its wave color is orange. So the next uh, subplot shows the combined signal, which is the sum of both sine and cosine waves. The sine waves is color green for this, uh, which I set on my code. It's color green. So notice that the it's also okay. Let's focus first on the sine wave. So at the sine wave, it shows a 5 hertz sine wave. So it is here. We define it earlier that f1 equals to 5. So if we change it to 10, this will also change. So instead of 5 hertz per second, it will be 10 hertz per second. So also you can observe that it starts at 0, amplitude gradually rise to positive peak and drops to a negative peak. And it repeats this pattern 5 times within 5 seconds, since its frequency is set to 5. So that's because set to 5. It complete 5 full cycles per second. So we can also change this if we change this value to 10 and save and run the code. So you can see from 10 from 5 hertz, now it is 10 hertz. Then it completes now it completes 10 full cycles per second, just like the cosine wave. So we set it back to 5, save, save, and then hold to that. So this value f1 and f2 determines the frequency of the signals and how many cycles per second that it will fully cycles. So next, the second plot shows the cosine wave at 10 hertz. Unlike the sine wave, it starts at the maximum amplitude because the cosine function is phase shifted by 90 degrees relative to sine. So you also notice that it oscillates faster because it is since it is 10 hertz, it completes 10 cycles per second, much more faster than the sine wave that only oscillates 5 hertz per second, 5 cycles per second. So the difference clearly shows that how frequency affect the numbers of cycles and phase affects where the wave starts, as you can see. So the frequency affect the number of cycles. So if we change this to 15 and this to 10 and run the code, as you can see, this will change our uh, plot for the sine and cosine wave. And the sine wave before it is 5 hertz, now it is 10. It completes 10 cycles per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 cycles per second. And the cosine wave, which I set to 15, F2 to 15, now oscillates uh, 15 full cycles per second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cycles per second. So that's uh, how the number of cycles affects the signals and the phase and also the phase affects where the wave starts. So yeah. So the third plot shows the combined signal of these two uh, two two signals. So shows the combined signal of so third subplot shows the combined signal of the sine and cosine wave. So when we add two signals, we get more complex waveform, as you can see here, more complex waveform. So this happens because the waves interact through a process called superposition. So at some point, the waves add together, making the amplitude larger. So you can see amplitude. So in this part, the amplitude uh, gets larger, and other points they cancel each other, so making the amplitudes smaller. So you can see here, here. So as you can see that the combined signal doesn't have a uniform shape and it's constantly changing to the difference in frequency and phase between the two signals. So this is an important concept in signal processing since most real-world signals like audio or radio are actually combination of multiple sine and cosine components. So that's all for this laboratory. In conclusion, we learn how to generate and analyze basic signals using Python and understand how frequency controls how fast a signal oscillates and how phase affects where it starts and how adding signals can create more complex waveforms, all by just by making just by using Python. So uh, I hope this experiment can give us a clear idea of how analog signals are represented and processed in a digital world. So that's all for this laboratory, and thank you for watching.